Hey guys, it's Mirakia, and today I'm going to be doing a very personal video just discussing the job hunting market. As you guys know, my journey with that, trying to show grace and trying to find the silver lining. So without further ado, let's get into it. I'm really excited to do this video. This is my first sit down video, so I got my little notes here, and I'm gonna try to stay on time because this is something that I'm really experiencing, so I get carried away, but I'm gonna try to stay on time. So yeah, so when it comes to the job market, like the job market, I don't know what's going on. I know they're saying like, oh, it's all-time low, all this other stuff, but to be honest, like I think finding a job is hard. I've applied to about, like, I would say 85 to 90 jobs, and I've only received one offer, which I'll kind of get into that situation a little bit later on in the video. But yeah, like the job market, like they make it seem like, oh, like people are like, they're just so in hot demand, like employees need them, blah blah blah. And for me, as a recent graduate, I don't think that's the case. Now if you're a person that is, has some experience, you've been on your job for 2 years, and you might have, degree or technical degree or anything like that, I feel like this job market's for you. But for those who are trying to do like a career change, or for those who are trying to, like, who recently graduated, it really isn't. And the reason why I say that is just because, like, number one, like, there's not enough employees, and when there's not enough employees that they have, and there's like there's low retention of these employees, then there's not enough training. So you have people that aren't able to train the people because there's low employees, or the company just don't have the budget for it. So then that puts people who are coming out of college with, like, little experience or things like that, it puts them out the loop because employees don't want to hire you because you don't have that experience. So I feel like that kind of, like, just puts a lot of recent grads, or like I said, people who are in a new direction, in a really problematic situation. And it sucks too because it's like, I do have my master's degree. I have my master's degree in energy and sustainability, and I have my bachelor's in environmental science. Well, it's in geography, but my focus is in environmental science. And like, you think my master's would, like, kind of boost me a little bit, but it doesn't seem like it as much. And I know all the fields are different, but for me, it doesn't feel like that. I feel like they still want to do that, and on top of that, they don't even want to pay you. They want all this experience and blah 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 blah, and they don't want to pay you. So it feels like, for me as a recent grad, like, I do have some experience. I have had internship experience. I have volunteer experience, things like that. But for it ain't enough, and it's like you're kind of in this suckish, you're stuck in this situation. When it comes to the, job market, like I said earlier, like I probably applied to, like I said, 85 to 90 jobs, and I've only received one offer. That offer was a process, and at the end of it, I wasn't even getting enough to really live off of, as a single independent person. And I want to emphasize that because, for some people, they might be able to live off of that if you had a roommate, this and that. But for me, I didn't want a roommate. I wanted to be independent. I wanted to be on my own. That's on that period. But I was offered a job to be kind of like a sustainability consultant. And that happened in about August. I started searching for jobs in April. But so about August, that is when I ended up getting this job offer. And it took about 8 to 10 weeks for me to receive it because I had 3 rounds of interviews, which was crazy. They first gave me a phone call interview, and then it was so first it was a phone call interview, then it was like a normal interview where they kind of asked me more questions on my resume, maybe asked me a little more specific, my work style, things like that, kind of a get to know me one. And then the third interview was about it was like a case study where it's kind of like, okay, like, what would you do in this situation type of thing. And with all that process and getting the offer, like I said, it took 8 to 10 weeks. And then once I got the offer, I realized that I got an offer and they weren't offering me enough money. So the job was in Newport Beach, California, which is Orange County, and Orange County is not cheap. And the offer, they were only going to offer me they're only going to offer me $73,000. I ended up counter offering at $92,000 because my goal was $86,000. I think it was like 86, 88 was kind of like my goal. So I offered more, and then they counter offered at 75, and I couldn't take it. It sucked because I put all that time and effort, but I just couldn't take that job because like by the time that's 75,000, that's before taxes. Okay, by the time you pay your rent, and the average rent around that area is depending, it varies, but let's say like I was looking, it was between like 2,000 to $2,300 a month, gas, like car insurance, like I can go down the list. And on top of that, I wanted to live on my own. So by the time I did all that, the math wasn't mathing, and I was like, it sucked because I just felt like I wasted that time. And I had one of my friends, Maya G, I have some of the best friends. She literally like helped me practice interviewing for the second and third step, and it just sucked. It really, really sucked. And it was disappointing with that job offer process. And throughout that process, I felt guilty because I was like, I felt guilty because I was asking for so much more money, and I just felt like, wow, like I'm literally asking $20,000 above it. But to live out there, it costs. Like I was looking at like the average cost, like it takes to like the average, like how much is the average person making living in Newport? It was $96,000, and that makes sense where the rent is and stuff. So it was just really unfortunate, and it would have been a good opportunity, but I would have had to work like two jobs for me to live. And I want to enjoy California, and West believe I would have had to work two jobs, and I would have worked two jobs because I'm not gonna be broke. Like, and I just kind of felt like, I'd rather be broke at home. I'd rather be broke at home than be broke in California. Like, what's the point? I might just be at home and wait for a job here. So anyway, that didn't work out, and that kind of leads to kind of the next topic, which is kind of like showing myself grace, giving myself grace, and all those types of things. Whew, you guys. You guys, this showing myself grace was a really hard process because I had to kind of like transition to my thinking to be kind of more reflecting and be more reflective of what the process I've been through. And I have to give myself credit. I made it through 3 rounds of interviews, and I know there probably was at least about 20 candidates, and that's just a guess. I'm assuming it was about probably starting off, probably like they probably had about 25 candidates, maybe even more, but I'll just say for the sake of the video, about 25 candidates. And I was, out of all those candidates and going through every single round, I made it. Rakia Harris made it through that. And a lot of my friends had to kind of tell me that too. Like, Rakia, like, you made it though. Yeah, maybe the job didn't work out. It wasn't the pay and this, that, but you made it through all those rounds of interviews. And that's going to show you how valuable you are, how special you are, and that like look at you, And I was like, yes. I was like, that is so true. Really learning, it kind of gave me that confidence that I needed, because bro, this job market, it be ruining your confidence. It is what it is, because it's like they want you to have your cake and eat it too. And I'm like confused. I'm like, what do you want from me? So that's that. Another thing is learning that with the job market, there's no formula. Like, it's literally fate. And I kind of accepted that too. It's just fate sometimes. Like, there's only so many, consulting about this, or resume building, advice, recommendations, networking, internship. There's only so much. And then at the end of the day, it's just fate. Like, literally, it's just fate that you get these jobs. And I had to, and I think the more I reasoned with that, the more I kind of accepted it, because that's out of my hands. That is literally out of my hands. And I can't move fate any faster, So there's that. Another thing is I had to learn. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. Another thing I had to, learning with Show Myself Grace is listening to others but not comparing myself. Some of my friends have like they're like in their jobs where they're within their field, they're making, pretty good money, and they not all of them are like 100% happy with their jobs, but they are getting that experience. And I have to learn not to compare myself to others, because it's so easy to fall into that trap. Or, well, this person, they graduate, and not even my friends, just on social media. Like, this person graduated, and then they got a job right after college. Like, those things. And I have to understand, like, that's not my story. And that's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with my story being different from other people's story. And I have to kind of catch myself, because comparing yourself to others is a very, like, mentally and emotionally draining, and it can really be harmful. So I have to kind of catch myself and be like, Rakia, like, don't get it twisted. Like, look where you're at. And so, anyway, but yeah, just listening to others but not comparing is a huge one that I have learned to kind of give myself a little grace and kind of make myself proud. Like, hey, like, maybe I'm not at that journey, but maybe this journey is steering me to another way where then I'll end up being successful in my own right, And another thing I had to talk about, which, if you know, I have to understand that there are still systematic barriers within the job market, and I cannot ignore that. And it's really hard. A lot of people think that minorities, we be playing like the color card. We be playing the color people card. No, we don't. We do not. We are. I feel like most minorities actually don't play the color card because we don't want to make excuses. We're trying to get to where we're going because of literally the content of our character and the facts and our resumes. Like, we're not trying to, like, use our color as kind of like an excuse or as a just, we're not trying to use it as an excuse type of vibe, if you understand what I'm saying. And so I really was trying not to think like, okay, man, I just feel like sometimes, like, because on my resume, my name is Rakia Harris. Like, come on now. It might not be the most blackest name, if you want to say blackest name, but it's a minority shoe. It's not no Sarah. It's not so Ashley. Like, come on. And I'm not trying to throw shade on the Sarahs and Ashleys, but you know what I mean. Like, it's a name that's like, it's an ethnic name, if that makes sense. So I feel like sometimes, like, looking at my resume or things like that, like, there are still systematic barriers. Even when you do interviews, like, when they actually see you, there is still systematic barriers, not for just people of color, but for also women as well. So I have to understand and say, Rakia, like, you're going through those barriers. You might not physically see them, but they're just so built into the system that they still impact you. And a lot of times, they get us in situations where we should not be in because of that. So that kind of helped me show myself grace as well. And lastly, we're going to talk about the silver lining. We're going to try to end this on a more positive note. The one thing I can say is that this has taught me so much patience. I'm learning that it takes so much patience to find that job. And everybody's trying to balance passion, purpose, money, like all these different things, like aligns with my degree, whatever, opportunity, like all these different things you're trying to balance when you're like analyzing a job. And it takes patience. It takes so much patience. And I have to give patience to myself. I have to give patience, to God. If you don't believe in God, then I have to give patience to the fates that be, and I have to show that. And it's hard because I'm the type of person, like, I've been, ever since I kind of graduated from my bachelor's, I just been kind of on this, like, bam, like, I feel like I've been climbing this stair. Like, I feel like I'm just winning and winning and winning. And then the job market was like, whoop, like, it humbled your girl. It humbled me. And I'm not like an egotistical person at all. Like, I'm very humble, but it really, really humbled me. And I think maybe I needed that. Maybe I needed that humbleness. And I'm like, Rakia, you gotta be patient. Good things come to those who wait. And we're so used to having things now, but you can't control that. So I'm like, patience. Another thing is, I've learned that this time with me not having a job, I've learned to really spend time with my family and my friends. My schedule's pretty much free as a bird, as you guys be watching my weekly vlogs. Like, it's pretty much a chill day every day. And I have this opportunity to spend time with my parents. Both my parents are retired. And so now I have a chance to really spend time with them and, get to have a relationship where like I'm an adult and they're an adult and like bonding over that, but yet like I'm still their kid. You know what I mean? Like that type of dynamic. And I also get to spend time with my friends, like, making plans with my friends, hanging out with my friends, not having to really worry about like taking off vacation. And my friends have been emphasizing like, Rakia, take advantage of it because when you get a job, you're gonna have to take vacation. So they've been really pushing that on me, which is funny. And yeah, so I've been really learning that, learning to just spending very good quality time with people that I support and that I support, they support me, I care about them, they care about me, I love them, they love me. And lastly, I feel like this finding a silver lining, this has really taught me how much I value my purpose as in my job. And trying to like, yeah, my job, trying to find not my purpose in my job, but I'm trying to, it has taught me to like this, how bad do I want it, but like learning that like kind of the whole good teams come those who wait, make kind of in a sense of like, your passion, learning, I'm kind of realizing like I am really passionate about what I'm doing because, I'm not willing to just take any job. And I'm blessed that I don't have to, and I really want to emphasize that because I know there's some people that have they take a job because they got to get paid, like they ain't got time. But for me, I am blessed to have that time to do that. But it has taught me to really like value, like Rakia, value yourself, value what your purpose is trying to be when it comes to your job. And my purpose is to literally, it sounds cliche, but I really want to make the world a better place. That's why I chose environmental science, because I want to make the world a better place. I want to give back what the world has given me. The earth provides so many resources. It's just everything that we use is literally was raw materials. And I feel like the earth has provided so much for me. Like, why can I give back? Why can I help the animals? Why can I try to help support, water conservation, like all those types of things, create a more sustainable future, not just for us, but for future generations is really important to me. And it's something that I value. And it's kind of like this job market is kind of testing it because capitalism be taking dreams away. And I'm trying not to let capitalism, particularly with this job market, take my dream away. I'm trying to be reasonable. I'm not trying to be too picky, but I'm also not trying to just give up my dream because it's hard and I have to wait and I have to do this and that. And so that's what I kind of mean by finding my purpose and learning that. But anyway, you guys, that is what I say. That is what I have to say. And I hope this video, hopefully, like, we can connect. We can say, yes, Rakia, I see you. Have good dialogue because I'm experiencing this. I'm about to get back on the job hunting things, this week and get back into it. But I definitely want to just, first of all, thank all my friends and family for supporting me, because at the end of the day, without having good people around you, you just be looking lost. And they keep, yes, you try to keep yourself aligned, but you need help from others to help guide you. And so I really, really appreciate all my friends and all my family for supporting me during this journey. And yeah, and I hope this video helps. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Bruh, I messed it up again. But as the girlies on YouTube be saying, make sure you share, comment, like, subscribe, and I will catch you guys in another video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.